Alright folks, let's build momentum on the discussion we kicked off in the last video and dive straight into a topic that's near and dear to my heart, high productivity. Now, I don't know about you, but I've spent a good chunk of my life wondering how to get more stuff done in the same hours. Because let's be real, we're not paid by the hour, we're paid by the value we produce within the hour. And the usual approach involves much of the same, like setting amazing goals in January and meticulously tracking progress throughout the year. And it sounds solid, right? Well, not as often as we think. Many of us find ourselves losing steam, forgetting what we're gunning for, or getting tangled up in distractions along the way. And the end result? Well, we're left feeling like we're spinning our wheels but not going as far as we hoped for. But what if I told you there's a different way? A method that condenses the timeline, turbocharges your progress, and propels you toward your goals with unparalleled efficiency. Enter the 12-week year by Brian Moran and Lennington. Today, we're delving into this precious gem as part of my productivity series. If you missed the first episode, don't sweat it. I've got the link down below so you can check it out once you're through with this one. Now let's get down to business. This book is a goldmine of insights, but I want to focus on 3 killer concepts that have revolutionized my own approach to productivity. Sure, there are 21 chapters packed with wisdom, and trust me, it's worth your while. But for now, let's just zoom in on 3 nuggets of wisdom that have the potential to skyrocket your achievements in just 12 weeks. Yes, you heard me right, 12 weeks. First up, we've all got these grand plans, these big dreams, the lot of fire in our belly every January. But then, February reality hits and suddenly, those dreams feel like a distant mirage. That's what Moran and Lennington call the execution gap in their book, The 12-Week Year. It's the gaping chasm between what we intend to do and what we actually accomplish. See, we're great at setting goals. We jot them down, maybe even get a little excited about them. But when it comes to putting in the work, day in and day out, well, that's where things tend to go south. The execution gap is all about bridging that divide, closing the distance between intention and action. And let me tell you, mastering this gap is the key to turning those lofty aspirations into concrete achievements. And next on the docket is the concept of periodization over annualization, which flips the script on traditional goal setting. Instead of spreading our objectives over a 12-month period, we condense them into 12-week chunks. Why? Because let's face it, human nature thrives on urgency and instant gratification. By compressing our goals into shorter time frames, we create a heightened sense of urgency that fuels motivation and breeds action. It's about trading the illusion of endless time for the reality of finite opportunity. By focusing intensely on what we can achieve in the next 12 weeks, we're more likely to sidestep procrastination and leapfrog towards success. It's a game changer that prioritizes momentum over marathon, ensuring that we stay laser focused and relentlessly pursue our aspiration with vigor and purpose, turning goals into achievements. And last but certainly not least, if you want to go full on high productivity, you've got to be emotionally connected to the outcome. The book emphasizes the importance of deeply caring about the results we seek. It's not about setting goals, it's about investing ourselves emotionally in their achievements, which goes hand in hand with the principle number 2 we talked about in the last video. Begin with the end in mind. Again, link in the description below if you haven't watched it already. Because when we're emotionally connected to our goals, they become more than just items on a to-do list. They become compelling visions of our desired future. This emotional investment ignites our passion, fuels our determination, and sustains us through the inevitable challenges we'll encounter along the way. Whether it's the thrill of victory or the fear of failure, tapping into our emotions amplify our drive and resilience, driving us closer to our dreams with unwavering commitment and resolve. So now that we've briefly touched upon the 3 main concepts of the book I wanted to delve into today, let's dig a bit deeper on each one of them. So the core message of this book, and it's one I wholeheartedly agree with, is this: When you compare the high achievers with the underachievers, it's not about who's got the most knowledge, the fanciest strategy, or the juiciest information. None of this bullshit matters. It's all about execution, plain and simple. There's this massive gap between those who consistently get stuff done and those who don't. Thomas Edison hit the nail on the head when he said, if we did the things we're capable of, we would literally astound ourselves. And yet, over 1 billion people worldwide are either significantly overweight or downright obese. You think there's some secret sauce to shedding pounds and getting fit? Think again, mate. The diet and fitness industry was worth over $100 billion in 2022 and is expected to reach over $200 billion by 2030. A quick search on Amazon for diet books will show you a staggering more than 60,000 books published on the subject. So people are overweight, not due to lack of information, but let's face it, if you want to lose weight, you know the drill. Eat more vegetables, less processed food, and move your body more. The problem, we just don't do it. It's not for lack of knowledge, it's a lack of follow-through. Take it from me, for example. I've seen time and time again. Most folks have the tools to double or triple their income, to transform their lives in ways they never imagined. But instead of buckling down and putting in the work, they chase after shiny new ideas, hoping for a magic bullet that will solve all their problems. Sounds familiar? Yeah, I thought so. The first chapter of this book dives deep into this very dilemma. The one thing standing between you and the life you dream of is your ability to execute consistently. Now let's get real for a moment here. As I was devouring these pages, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm guilty of this too. Despite helping others amp up their productivity and live their best lives, I still find myself lagging behind because of my own inconsistency. So here's a question for you. Where are you letting your lack of consistent action hold you back? Seriously, take a moment to think it through. For me, it's my health. Sure, I know what it takes to hit the gym regularly and eat clean, but do I actually do it? Not consistently. And don't even get me started on my business. It did alright last year, but had I executed as I know I should have, it could have been a game changer. The difference between sporadic execution and consistent execution, it's staggering. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. And that's where this book comes in. It's all about bridging that execution gap, about turning intentions into actions and dreams into reality. Enter the concept of the 12-week year. It's all laid out in chapter 10. But the gist of this is, instead of spreading your goals thin over a year, condense them into 12-week sprints. Why? Because it lights a fire under your butt. It forces you to hustle, to stay focused, to make every moment count. So if you've identified your execution gap, and let's be honest, who hasn't? Please stick around. Watch the rest of this video, soak up the wisdom, and hey, maybe grab yourself a copy of the book while you're at it. And once you've got the execution game locked in and you're ready to level up even more, well, I'm here to help. Click that link below for a free one-on-one strategy session with me. Let's map out your life. Let's start executing, and let's bring those dreams of yours to life. Sounds good? I thought so. Links in the description. So the second concept I want to share with you today, I stumbled upon in the Impact Theory podcast interview with Ed Miley. He said that his day is divided into 3 parts: 6 a.m. to noon, noon to 6 p.m., and 6 p.m. to midnight. And went on to say, I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it still takes a full 24 hours to do something, like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago. In other words, by dividing your day like this, you're effectively creating 21 days in a week. Stack that up over a month, and you're kicking ass left, right, and center. Stack that up over a year, and things starts to add up like crazy. And if stacked up over a period of 5 years, you'll be miles and miles ahead than you otherwise would. Now, this clip went viral everywhere, and let me tell you, the comments were hilarious. People were like, if I cut my pizza into 48 slices, do I get more pizza? It's a mix of humor and insight, but there's something profound here. Essentially what he's proposing is what the guys in the book call periodization. You're breaking your time into chunks, optimizing your productivity in each phase. Although Ed's clip got taken out of context, there's real wisdom there if you read between the lines. You see, most of us operate on an annualized mindset, setting goals for a year ahead. You set a whole bunch of goals in January, but January goes by and you still have like 11 months to go. That's a lot of time to fuck around before getting down to the good stuff. That's why most people have lost their spark in like February or March. There's no sense of urgency when you look at 40 or 50 weeks down the road. But as this concept proposes, by breaking time into manageable chunks, we gain a sense of urgency and focus that propel us forward. Imagine you've got a wedding in Bali in May next year, or 12 months from now. You get super excited when you book your tickets and your accommodation. You go on and on with your mates, making plans of what to do and what not. But 2 weeks later, you will 100%, if not completely forgotten about it, not be as excited as you were just a couple of weeks ago. Now, imagine if your flight was taken off 10 weeks from now. In 2 weeks, you'd be even more excited because now it's only 2 months away. You can grasp the time frame a hell of a lot better than if it was 50 weeks away. But this concept of periodization isn't anything new under the sun. It gained traction in the 1970s with athletes training for the Olympics. Eastern European athletes used it to great effect, focusing intensely on one skill for a period of 4 to 6 weeks at a time before moving on to the next period, where they focus their training on only one other skill before moving on to the next one. It's all about stacking progress in series rather than scattering it across multiple fronts at once. I've touched on this before. When you try to juggle too many goals at once, it turns out to be less effective than dedicating all the efforts to one thing and seeing it through. This concept of 12-week year is used in business, but with a different terminology. Businesses usually have yearly goals, right? But they break those goals down to quarterly goals. But as we're talking about personal productivity and goals, the term 12-week year resonates a lot more with our minds. Thus, you enter the 12-week year, which is a game changer in the realm of goal setting and productivity. Instead of thinking in terms of 52 weeks, you condense it into 4 periods of 12 weeks each. You can even have a 1 week off in between these 4 periods to relax, unwind, and recharge. Why? Because it helps keeping us more focused. Every week counts in a 12-week period. And as the deadline approaches, we tend to kick things into high gear. It's not about glorifying the hustle culture, even though I particularly enjoy it, but it's about using our time effectively to achieve the goals we set for ourselves. And moreover, you get to keep track of how you're going 4 times more often, which means that you've got a lot of room for reevaluating your strategies based on your performance. Sure, you might argue that arbitrarily slicing up time like this is gimmicky, but trust me, it works. Whether it's breaking down a year into 12-week segments or a day into morning, afternoon, and night, we're leveraging our psychology to our advantage here. We're all humans, and we gotta be honest with ourselves. We don't do squats until it becomes urgent and we can't put it off anymore. As deadlines loom closer, we naturally push harder, cut out distractions, and do what we could have done weeks or months earlier. It's not about grinding ourselves into the ground every 3 months, but it's about aligning our actions with our aspirations in a way that actually gets results. So let's now dive into our third key idea, your emotional connection to the outcome. Now, when we embark on setting goals for a 12-week year, it usually means venturing into new territory. And let's be real, new actions can be uncomfortable as hell. That discomfort, my friend, is the price we pay for greatness. We've got to sacrifice that cozy little bubble of comfort if we want to achieve anything worth writing home about. Take me for instance, if I wanted to bulk up, I've got to bid farewell to my date night pizza and hit the gym instead. It's about swapping short-term comfort for long-term gain. And let me tell you, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Growing your income or leveling up your business? Yeah, that's gonna mean facing some uncomfortable truths and having some real uncomfortable conversations. But here's the kicker, most of us avoid discomfort like the COVID-19. We're hooked on comfort like there's no tomorrow. So much so that there's a whole book dedicated to our addiction, the comfort crisis. But here's where things get interesting. Picture this, you're facing a challenge And instead of shying away, you lean into the discomfort. You tackle it head on because you know that's where growth happens. Now here's a little journaling prompt for you. Where am I allowing my fear of discomfort to hold me back from building a life that I love? Take a moment to ponder that. Trust me, it's worth your while. Now on to the next big idea, having a compelling vision for the future. I recently came across this powerful insight from Dr. K on the Diary of a CEO podcast. He delved into the correlation between male suicide rates and having a lack of vision for the future. It's eye-opening stuff. Without a clear vision of where we're headed, we can easily fall into despair. And that's where the 12-week year philosophy comes in. It's all about crafting a vision that lights a fire in your belly, one that pulls you forward, even when the going gets tough. Because here's the thing, without that emotional connection to your vision, you're just going through the motions. It's like trying to pedal upstream without a pedal. Your goals need to resonate with you on a deep emotional and visceral level. None of this shoulds nonsense. As Tony Robbins says, if you want to accomplish something, you gotta stop shooting yourself and create a compelling reason so it becomes a must. We're talking about dreams that set your soul on fire, the kind that makes you leap out of bed in the morning, ready to take on the world. So what's your vision? What legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want for yourself and your loved ones? These are the questions that will light the way forward. And let me tell you, once you've got that vision locked in, everything falls into place. Now, if you're ready to turn that vision into reality, I've got something that might help. I've been coaching folks just like you for 5 years, and let me tell you, there's nothing I love doing more. So, if you're ready to crush your goals and get more done in the next 12 weeks than you did in the past 12 months, I invite you to click the link in the description below and leave your details so we can have a chat. I've only got a few slots available, but I promise to get back to you as soon as possible. Together, we'll unlock your full potential and make magic happen. But hey, if you're not quite ready to take the plunge just yet, no worries. Check out this video up here where I break down the fundamentals of productivity and share some key insights on high performance psychology. Oh, and don't forget to grab a copy of the 12-week year. Trust me, it's a game changer. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, take care. Cheers.